Now we have to go to the build an application, and then we have to click on the SAP Build Apps. After that, as we want to create application backend, so I will click on the application backend, and now I have to give the a name of the backend or name of the project as a project name. So I give here the IMP important database. Can copy it. I again write the important database, and then click on the create button. After that, it will start the creating of my newly created instance of SAP database. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to MSha Tech. Today we are continuing our series of developing SAP Build App by using the environment of SAP Build App. So we are here on a stage number 5, where we will discuss the connecting to data resources, how we can connect our app with the data resources, and how many types of data resources we can use for completing our app development. So let's move on. First of all, we will describe the data resources, and then we will explore how to use the old data resources, and then we will discuss the creating REST resources, and the fourth stage we will find using the on-device resources, and last but not least we will use how to use marketplace for data resources. So let's move on. First of all, I must have to mention we will explore all the data resources live on our system, so then we will understand very clearly how to use these data resources very efficiently. So describing data resources, it consists of one of three parts, and the first part is the data resources. Describing data resources, this consists of the 3 slides. In the first slide we have find that the application live and die on the data, and without some form of data, as we all know, application live and die on the data, and without some form of data, an app would not be able to do much. So the data is the backbone of any application. So some data is merely temporary and is stored while the app is running, such as data entered by the user, data related to the state of the app. For example, while a user is playing a game, the app would need to store their store name and the current state of the board for board games, or location for adventure games. So it means that all of the app needs some temporary data which is stored in the app while we running the app, only the time slot in which we only use the app. So after, when the app is closed, our data will be cleared and will be lost, and these type of data is not important because it's only required while we using the app. So for example, we discuss the data related to the state of the app. For example, the username, the login information, or if the user is playing a game, the app would need to store the score, the name, and the current state of the board in case of board game, and so on. The location is also the temporary data. Some data is stored in data stores or databases for use with other users. For example, this means this type of data is very important because we need this data after when the app will be restored, when the app will be used. This data will also be required for the continuation of app and for the continuation of any task. It depends on the user. So User required the business data such as invoices, sale order, how many invoices did and how many sale order have been granted to the customer. So this type of data is very important. The other example is sports data such as teams and players. In case of game app, the user we need the data. The business data is a sort of the team information, the player information, and the player's statistics. The third one example is geological data such as earthquake, their magnitude and location. So the information regarding the earthquake is also the important for managing the critical app working. So there are many examples. The data must be stored in a central location and you must know how to connect to it. Last point but not least, a data resource in an SAP Build application defines all the details needed to connect with the data. Generally, this is a REST or data service and requires a URL and some parameters to store what data to return. So, the third type of resource is the classical data entities. In this type, we have categorized the data entities into 5 major categories. Number 1 is OData integration. Number 2 is REST API direct integration. Number 3 is Google Firebase. It's also called Cloud Firebase and Cloud Store. Number 4 is SAP BTP destination, REST API integration, and the fifth one is marketplace. These are all the classical data entities. We will discuss each entity now. Let's move on. First of all, we have OData integration. This type of data resources is well known to everyone, and this type of data resources lets you connect to the OData services. OData services are services, as you know, we can reach with the URL and are designed for supplying business data. OData services conform to a rigid set of rules for defining the format of the URLs and of the return data. And then the second category is REST API direct integration. This type of data resources lets you connect to REST services. REST services do not need to conform to the same rigid rules for URLs and responses. As OData service does, it is used for getting the weather, sport statistics, playing games in some SAP business services. Moving on, the third one is Google Firebase Cloud File Store. This type of data resources lets you connect to Firebase, that is known as a set of backend cloud computing services and application development platform which is provided by the Google. And the fourth one is SAP BTP destination REST API integration. The REST with the BTP destination is the same as a REST API, except that the URL and authentication is defined by an SAP BTP destination. So all the authorization and all the authentication is managed and categorized by using the rules and so on in the BTP destination. So number fifth one is marketplace. Marketplace data resources can be of any type. They are data resources that are defined and stored in the marketplace and can be quickly installed from there. You may want to use the few data resources pre-built for you, or you may want to create a data resource and be able to quickly reuse it in multiple projects. So let's go straight to the system and explore what are these classical data entities and how we can access to these data entities. So let's move on. So here is the system. This is a lobby of SAP Build App. So for to create the backend, we have to click on the button, create button, arrow, and then click on the create. Now we have to go to the build an application. and then we have to click on the SAP Build Apps. After that, as we want to create application backend, so I will click on the application backend, and now I have to give the name of the backend or name of the project as a project name. So I give here the IMP important database. Can copy it. I again write the important database, and then click on the create button. After that, it will start the creating of my newly created instance of SAP database. Now our project has been created with the name of imp_database, and now I have to click on the create new button. After that, it is asking for the entity name, like I write here products, and this description will also be products, and then click on the add button. As you can see, the entity product has been added. Now if we want to add the fields of this entity, we have to click on the add new. Here I have to write the product ID, PROD ID, and then click on the add button. After that, if I want to add another field, I will click again on the plus button. Here it is. Now our field product ID has been added. Now if I want to add the description or name of a product, I again click on the add new, and here I write the description, and then the text field tab is already selected. Now I have to click on the add button. Here it is. As you can see, the description is also been added. When I click on the save button, it will save the entity. It will save the newly created entity very well. So same as like that, we can create multiple entities, and we can make relating to each other. So, and also we can use the functions as well here. If I click on the function and then click on the create new, it will ask the create new function. So this is another thing, another good feature of SAP Build App backend. So now moving back to entities, here are, you can import data from you can browse data of this entity. Also you can also import data from CSV file. So here it is. If I click on the browse data, deployment is not ready for preview. So another important thing is we have to deploy the our deployment. So then after that it will reflect our changes. So now I click on the review and deploy, and then click on the deploy to development. Now the SAP is going to be initializing phase, and then it now deploying this entity. When the deployment will be completed, the status will be changed. So then we can move forward. Here it is. Now you can see the status of our deployment is healthy. And now moving back to our entities, and then click on the browse data of this entity. As you can see, now you can import data from CSV file. When I click on the select file, it will ask the location of the file, and you can select the CSV file wherever it is saved. And if you don't know the template of this entity, do click on the download an entity template, so then you can fill the data according to this template. So moving on, if I click on the new record, I can insert the new record manually, right, like this. For this, I have to enter the product ID 10001, and then I insert the description as the valve number 4, and then click on the save button, and then click on the save record. Here it is. Now you can see the accept ID. There is a product ID 10001 is created, and the valve number 4 is saved as a description. So hope you understand the virtual cloud function. So for the audit integration, we have to select another type. Let's go straight to system. So for the integration with the on-demand storage, we have to use the option we have to click on the integration button and then click on the create data entity. Now I just have to write the first on device, and then click on the add button. It will create the entity on the device. So I just name is the first on device data, and then I will click on the add new button, and here I can write the supplier ID, and then click the type of the field as field type is a text, and then click on the OK button. Now our field has been added as a supplier ID, and so on. Moving back to the data tab. Now if you want to integrate by using the OData service, we just have to click on the create data entities as a classic data entity, because we know that the OData service is a classic data entities. So I will click on the create data entity under this tab. It will ask, the SAP Build app is asking for the type of the integration. I will click on the OData integration. I will click on the SAP BTP destination. In case of REST API, in case of Google Firebase, I will select this, and in case of marketplace, I will select on the marketplace search. Now if I click on the OData integration, it will ask for the URL. I already copy the Northwind database URL. Now if I click on the verify URL, the system is asking that this is not the correct. So I just remove the R which is wrongly entered. Now if I click on the on the verify URL, it will definitely verify the URL. Here it is. Now it's showing all the entities which are present in this OData URL. So as you know, the order is present. If I want to use the order, I will toggle this on, and if I want to select the product entity, I will toggle this on, and so on. So we have discussed the OData integration, we have discussed the on device, and we have discussed the functions. We have discussed the functions which is a backend of BTP database. So if I want to configure my database, integrate my database as a Google Firebase, I will click on the configure Google Firebase button, and then I will click on. Now The whole information regarding Google Firebase is present at this URL. You can go and explore what are the options available here. There is no header, there is no worries about this Google Firebase. So moving back to data. So if I want to add the BTP configuration, so we just know what is the destination and what are the configuration available for BTP. If I click on the Universal REST API, so I just have to I must know what is the URL, what is the data entity of REST API, and what is the base API URL. So I just need to have the API, the REST API. So then I use the REST API service, and then click on the entity, and then I can create the entity on the REST API. So hope you learned something new from this video. If you like this video, to click on the like button. Also, if you are new to my channel, do subscribe to my channel. This is the last video of this series of SAP Build App. So now I just want to give some more resource to you, so that you can explore by yourself and do some more learning which is useful for the journey of SAP Build App. So let's give you the URL. Here it is. Now if I close this, the whole journey of SAP Build App, which I have covered in all my videos of this playlist. I have covered the getting started with SAP Build App. I have covered building UI, and then I have covered the using variable, all the section one by one, and all the previous section building your user interface. I have explored and described to you in my videos that all the important concepts of building the user interface. After that, I have also created the video which is about explaining logic foundation, describing flow function, and then using formula function. Now we have discussed the connecting to data resources in this video, and we have explored all the main category, all the main strategies, all the main resources of to connecting to the data resources, which, as you know, the data connection and the data is a backbone of every app. So hope you like this video, and if you still want to some question, you can ask very easily by using the comment section. So let's meet into another new video. Till then, bye bye, take care.